As the Australian bushfires rage on, an entire population of animals is under threat of being wiped out.
In just a moment, we'll be meeting the woman who started an inspiring movement to help and letting you know how you can do your bit from right at home.
Before that, we sent Dr Scott Miller to his Australian hometown to have a closer look at the fire's devastating effects and meet those leading the rescue efforts. And it's worth pointing out that you might find some of the images in the film-up setting.
Watching the bushfire crisis from the UK has been heartbreaking, but being back in my homeland, it's even worse. The bushfires are raging after a year of record temperatures and searing droughts, meaning that we've lost around 10 million hectares of land, which equates to about a third of the size of the whole of the UK. It's thought that over 1 billion animals have perished as a result of the fires. And in this area of northern New South Wales, no animal has been more affected than the koala.
I'm heading 4 hours north of Sydney to Port Macquarie Koala Hospital, where staff there are doing everything they can to help in what is one of the most devastating times for koalas.
Hi there, Shane. I'm Scott. Nice to meet you. How are you doing?
Oh, g'day, mate. How are you?
Very good, very good. Wow, I can see that your patient board is pretty full at the moment, isn't it?
It is extremely full, and yeah, do you want to come and have a look?
Absolutely, love to.
Okay.
Either way.
With huge swathes of forest across the country burning, koalas are losing their homes and have nowhere to escape to, meaning tens of thousands have been incinerated alive.
This koala was burnt and he ran out onto the highway. A motorist stopped all the traffic, grabbed the koala, chucked him in his car and brought him straight up to us. So he was sort of hot off the press out of the fire ground. Now he came in and he was all singed.
This is Paul. He was the first koala affected by the fires to be brought into the hospital.
He's got some claws that probably may
Missing.
return, may not.
So he should be having 4 nails there and 2 of them
Yep.
missing.
But you can see it's all nicely regrown there. They were completely burnt. He was a mess when he came in. If they come in with really badly burned hands and feet, we put them to sleep because they don't have a future.
So I can see the tips of his ears here have been burnt as
Yes,
well.
he's lost a fair bit of that.
So that won't grow back, of course.
No, that won't grow back. It won't affect his hearing. That'll still be fine.
And so what's the future for this guy?
Oh, he won't be released, I don't think. I think he's a permanent fixture here. Most of the habitat will grow back, but what we need now is huge amounts of gentle rain. Nothing on this planet will stop these fires. We need rain.
This hospital is staffed by over 100 volunteers, and I've come to do my bit and help treat some of the koalas with their burns.
All right, okay, all right.
So what we've got here is a second-degree burn, so it's actually gone through the skin to the underlying tissues, and one of the main issues that we see is that the subcutaneous fat almost cooks after the burn, and they can have injuries that start presenting for up to 14 days after the initial fire. So these guys are in pain from the very beginning, and it continues for quite a while.
Standard antibiotics and anti-inflammatories aren't particularly effective in koala burn victims. Instead, each koala has to be treated with a soothing gel containing silver gently rubbed into their wounds.
Doing a little koala rescue.
Every day there are astonishing stories of people around the country, including 2 teenagers who transformed their car into a makeshift rescue centre.
Just trying to collect as many live ones as we can.
And it's not just people lending a hand. This Border Collie bear is one of the few dogs in the world able to find koalas by the scent of their fur. Wearing protective footwear, he helps find injured koalas in the bushfires. Many animals being affected are only found here in Australia, including these joeys. They have been separated from their mother, so Cara Suzanne, who works for the Koala Hospital, has taken 8 of them into her own home. It's a full-time job, having to feed them every few hours.
At the moment, we don't know what's going to happen with them. They stay with us for quite a while.
No. Just purely because there's nowhere to release them because everything's been burnt.
Yeah.
Winged creatures are better equipped to get away from the fire zones, but having their habitat and food burnt away is leading to starvation and dehydration. Luckily for bats, there is one woman doing everything she can to help.
They're estimating that so far we've probably lost at least 10% of the whole population of these guys. These are grey-headed flying foxes, which are a threatened species. They're a keystone species, which means they're really important for pollination and seed dispersal.
Right.
So most of our other animals, including koalas and all those, depend on the bats to survive.
And what do you see at the moment for the future of the koala in Australia?
I think koalas will survive. There's definitely not going to be the koalas there was, that's for sure. Some populations will build up again, but it's all about rain. Unless we get good rain, the future is grim, as is all the other species as well that live in association with them.
It's been incredibly traumatic. To see what the animals of Australia have been through as a result of the bushfires has been horrific, but hopefully the future of the koalas is secure.
And it's not just in Australia where people are trying to help. Last week, after Jayne Fisk from Lincoln launched an effort to knit pouches and mittens for the injured wildlife, she's now recruited over 4,500 volunteers, and she joins us.
Well done, you.
Joins us now. So, explain what it is that you're doing.
Well, now a lot of people are doing. It wasn't meant to be like that, but it happened that way. It was meant to be my friends, but it got shared and shared and shared again. And I really wanted to do something. I've got friends in Australia, I've got friends who are marked safe, I've got friends who've been evacuated, and I thought, you know, it was so far away, I felt quite useless really, but I wanted to do something. And I saw an article, it popped up on my Facebook about some Dutch ladies who were sewing mittens for koalas with burnt paws. And I thought, oh, you can do that, Jayne. And then I thought, hold on, you've got loads of crafty friends. They'll probably help. And that's how it started.
So show us what you've got.
I've got a variety of things here.
So what's that then?
These are nests.
Okay.
They're used for everything from small rodents out up to, I've seen tiny joeys in them too.
Really?
And birds, obviously. They would have a liner inside. They're not made yet. And the rescues will use them, and they'll change the liner multiple times a day. But
And
it's
you can
some
see
security.
the sort of mittens there, but
they're not. No, they're all pouches. They go right through. The little ones are maybe for a sugar glider or something like that.
Right, okay.
Right up, there are actually bigger ones that I haven't brought that will go up for joeys again. They go in there, and then the joeys particularly will go into a hanging one. So it gives them that sense of where they should be, really.
It's a lovely idea, and you can see why it's attracted so many people. I guess the issue is now, with 4,500 of you making these wonderful things, is getting them to Australia.
Not everybody's making, but people just want to be there.
Yeah,
people
they want to
have
help.
said to me, we felt that we couldn't do anything, but now we feel that, you know, even if we're doing a little something, we're helping. Strategically, it's quite a nightmare. It's very early days, and I don't want them to go freight, because I think freight is causing problems in Australia, because when it gets there, there's so much of it, then it's got to be sorted again and passed on to the rescues. And I have heard, I don't know how true, that some rescues are incurring costs in getting the stuff to them.
Well, we'll try and help you with that. We've been talking to British Airways, and they're happy to support you and help in some way, whichever way obviously is best for you guys.
That's
so
amazing.
we'll put you in touch, and
hopefully we're going to get it little and often, so that, you know, rather than me having a whole load of stuff sat at home,
you can deliver it out when it's needed.
where it's needed. Really.
Well, we might send a crew with you, so we can, you know, sort of follow where they go. So then at least you'll be able to see what happens to them at the other end.
That'd be amazing.
Keep up the good work, and it's lovely to meet you. Thank you very much.
Lovely to meet you both too. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're more than welcome.